Okay, welcome back to Django, my dear champions. Hope you're doing good and you're practicing well. Today we are going to see a completely different topic of templates. How do we use CSS, JavaScript and other language and other things with our own project. And before that, we'll go and start a new project. Many of you are having problems with the project, so I thought instead of working on this current project, why don't I close the window? Oh, I closed the window. No, I did. I had to close only the project. Meanwhile, we'll start with the new project. So I'll say, do we have any option of closing the project here? Close editor? No, I'll say close. A folder maybe. Don't save. Alright, we'll start with a new project. And how do you start with a new project? Go to command prompt. We know that we are in cd Django-projects. Right, and now what we have to do, we have to go and make a new project, right? And how do you make a new project? You just type Django dash admin start project. So let's start a new project. Maybe we want to work with a travel website, so we'll start a new project known as travel. So now a new project is almost ready. Alright, so now I will say CD, I'll go to this project, so I'll say CD travel or CD projects. No, I'll have to go to travel, so I'll go to CD travel. I'll go to travel and I will say dir to list the directories manage.py is here, and I can say Django manage.py start. Now, how do you start and what do you start? You have to start server, right? And no, basically, it's the only thing that we have to do maybe. But before starting the server, I'll have to open the project right here. I'll open this folder and now you can see my new project is here. Manage.py file is also here. So now these are urls.py and everything else is here. You can go ahead and start your project. So I can go with if you want to get a new terminal, you can get a new terminal, and you want to type PowerShell, you can type PowerShell. Oh, what is it? Alright, so I don't want to run server from here, so let me run server from here. Oh, I've typed start server, I'll say run server. So now Django, why did I type Django? It's Python manage.py run server. Right now the server has started and I can go ahead and open the server 127.0.0.1 Now we get the initial file, right? So now so far everything is cool and everything is set and done, and I have to now make a new app. First, we'll have to make a new app in order to start any new project, right? So I'll go ahead and type Python, right? And I'll call manage.py. So I'll make a new app. I'll say start app travel. All right. So Django project exciting module cannot be used as an app name. Okay, because the project name is already travel. So I'll use travel app here. Now we made an app. Now you can clearly see this is travel app right here, and we have this travel app right here. All right, so we'll be taking help from this travel app. Hold on a second. Yeah. All right, and what we have is the following. Okay, now let's app is ready. So now what we have to do is deal with the app and do what we have been doing. The first thing that we require a template in the app, all right, because we want to work with templates right here, isn't it? So we'll go and install templates right here. Okay, and we'll make a new directory, maybe templates directory, and then we will use the same directory for templates. So I'll say a new folder and call templates templates, and now the templates folder is right here. right. So now we have this templates folder, right, and it's good, right? Everything is set and done right here. But yeah, wait a second, we'll have to go to the templates directory to set it up, right? So I'll directly go to where is my file? Manage.py is here. Inside the project, which is travel, I'll go to settings.py, and I will have to mention where is that? Okay, template. Okay, now we have it here, Django template language. So we'll have to mention right, and I'll go to dirs and I'll mention the path. You know that os.path, right? So I'll do os.path dot join base underscore dir is going to be the directory that we just created, templates, 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 and now my templates directory is completely accessible. So you should give it a try first. Let's give it a try. I will say new, and I'll say, let's say home.html, just to give it a try. We don't require this home.html. I'll just hit enter and say h1 tag. I will use h1 tag here and say hello, and that's it. We just want to try that if everything works fine or not. And the second thing that we need to go do is go to travel app and create a new file and call this urls.py so that we can manage URLs separately in here. Right, and I'll go to my main urls.py. I will just delete this chunk right here. I will use path, and whenever you type nothing, actually nothing, you are going to include a file. As I told you that how to include a file in this urls.py. Alright, so I'll say include. You already learned this, right? So I don't have to show you this. Include comes from django.urls, so I'll say import path and also import include. Right, so I've imported include also, and say include the file which is my travel app. All right, so I have to include a file here which is inside travel app, and the file is urls.py. Right, so I'll say include travel app.urls. So now this thing is done. All right, I'll now go to travel app what happened here? Undefined variable travel app. I don't know why. Include. Okay, it has to be in single quotes or double quotes, whatever it may be. Okay, now we're done here. We are importing this file travel app urls, and now let me go to the travel app urls.py, and there's actually nothing in here, but first I'll make a view. All right, so let me create a view first. Wherein I'm going to render this, right, so that we check everything is working fine. Our HTML, our templates, and everything else is working fine, right? So I will define a function for home, right? Whenever this function is called, right, and it takes a request as an argument, I am going to return, right, and I'll have to import render here. Render is already imported. I will render the request and give it back request and the page which is home.html. Now directory is already mentioned. It's automatically going to find the home.html in the directory that you have mentioned, templates. Right, and you have to make sure that home is in templates. Yeah, it is actually in templates, so we don't have any problem in here. Okay, now function is there. Now go to urls.py. Now we need to add this specific URL here, so that if anyone types it, so it's going to access it via that URL, right? And let's change the URL file. All right. So I'll go to URL pattern. So I'll have to import many things. So I'll say from Django dot urls import path from dot import views. Alright, and we have to basically link now. If anyone types, I've repeated it, the main urls.py is executed. The moment you go to the root directory, this travel app.urls file is included and URL checked here. Alright, and now what we are going to do here, we are going to define URL PATTERNS URL patterns, and it is as usual going to be a list. Alright, and we have to import path. Here I have imported path, and I'll say path. When you type nothing, that means when you are in the root, you are going to execute a function which is in views, and the function name is home, and you can give it any alias. So I'll say home page, whatever it is. Right, and this thing is also done. Okay, let me now refresh it. Template does not exist. Okay, we'll see that we have a problem here. The template does not exist. See user Django projects templates home.html does not exist. Travel, which is travel templates home.html, it does not exist because we have created, I suppose, it wrong. So let me go to, instead of going to either travel app or either travel, let me go to the source directly and create a new folder known as templates templates. Alright, and let me open this folder here, and let me create a new file here known as home.html. Right, and actually we created it in travel app, so we'll delete this, move to recycle bin. Right, and now we have this home.html here. Let me go ahead with the HTML and say h1 tag will always tell you hello. Fine, and now it should exist. Yeah, we're getting hello. So the mistake that we had done, we had basically kept this folder inside the travel app. Alright, even if it's in the travel app, you'll have to go to settings.py and mention right travel app /template. So now this can also work like this. But yeah, in our case, everything is working now absolutely fine. So we don't have any problems. So root page is accessible now. Right, now we are going to learn the Django template language. I remember yesterday I told you about MVT, which is model view and templates. So now how do you work with templates? Let me go and download any sort of template for you. There is a site known as colorlib.com. So we'll go to colorlib.com, and there are many templates. So we'll go with website templates, or we can search colorlib free templates or free HTML templates. Okay. So now you can see there are many free templates. So I'll click on some links. I'll keep the link available for you guys. So there are many links. Now you can see that we have this travel here. Alright, so we have this website here, Waterboat. Alright, so it's a Waterboat site. So I'll click here. And this is a travel website, so I'll download it here. So I'll keep this link available in the description of the session so that you can download it. And now thank you for downloading. Right, okay, so now you can download it from here. Now you can see download has started, 2.6 MB, and now 2.6 MB is actually downloaded. So I can open this. So the moment I can open this, you can clearly see a static template in front of you, which is index.html. I open this, and now here I have this static template that we are going to make dynamic, and it is responsive as well. It works on Bootstrap, right? So your template is ready, and this is static because it's all HTML. So everything here is going to be static, nothing dynamic, because in order to make it dynamic, we have to pass this through Django. Right, and now the first thing that I am going to do right here is I'll have to take this around here. So home.html. Let me change it. I'll say whenever someone types nothing, right, the file executed is going to be index.html, right? So now I delete this. So let me open the projects folder for you. Right, I will go to documents and we have Django. No, it's not Django. I'll have to go to users. Right, and Django projects, and this is my project travel right here, and I have templates directory here. I'll delete this home, and what I do from I have many templates right here. You can even get a paid template if you're working for a big project. I'll just drag and drop this index.html file. Alright, and now when I refresh, I get this index.html file. The only problem is that I don't have access to the CSS files, I don't have access to JavaScript files, and I don't have access to the remaining folders right here. Now you can see we have many folders right here, and I don't have access to these folders right here. Okay, so in order to get access to these folders, what I can do is, because they're all static files, right, and what I can do, just close it down. I'll close down everything right here, and I'll go to my main project, which is this travel, right, and I will click on create a new folder. Right, and okay, we'll make it, we'll have to make it basically. So let me see, VS Code is here, and travel templates. I can take it in static, not in templates, because they're all static if you want to take it, right? So I can open not a new file, but I'll go ahead, not here in this, I'll go in the main project. Right, I'll go in the main project and I click new folder. Let's make it static. I call this as static, right? So now I'll go to this project and add the remaining folder. So now if I go to Django projects, travel, and you can find this folder static here, and this is where I'll keep all my static pages, right? I'll take the remaining I'll take this the remaining folders, and I'll drag and drop or copy and paste them to static folder. Okay, now the copy and paste is done, and now if I refresh, so still nothing is going to happen. Why? Because you have to create the reference now, right? It's not easy because you're starting a project and you're starting a template based project, and it is actually not going to be easy. The reason why, if you can go to settings, so if I show you, this is my travel app and this is my travel project. I'll go to my settings.py and you can see that we have to mention the path here because of security reasons. Alright, you have to mention where do you find the remaining folders. Alright, what is the path of remaining folders? And imagine we are learning MVT, which is model view and template language using Django. So what I do right here, I will say, hey, wait a second. I will say static. Now you can clearly see static static underscore. Alright, so I can go ahead with static files, files. So I'll say capital static underscore files. I already see static URL is always going to be static, so that's why I made this project directory static URL as static, right? It's here, static, and it has all the images and everything else that we were about to name. Okay, I can say static files underscore directory. What is the directory, or what are the directories of static files? So that's why static files underscore dirs means the directories, which is again going to be a list of things, right? So I'll pass only one, and I'll pass os.path. Whatever is the path of the operating system, or we can say whatever is the path, static path. You may change it because why are we using this os.path? because once you publish the website online, right? So once you publish the website online, so this may change, right? Because here it is 127.0.0.1, or you can say it is here local host port 8000. So once you go online, it is going to be something like www.something.com, right? That's why we're using this path. It's going to dynamically update the path even if you publish the website online. So I'll say, hey, take the base dir and the folder static. Now I have referenced the static folder completely here. If I refresh, still nothing is going to happen, but yeah, we are moving step ahead. We have to do many different things, right? And I'll go to the terminal now. I'll say, hey, sum up everything that we have done, because I have added a folder known as static right here, which is going to be linked to my project now. And for that, I'll link it like this: Python manage. Manage. I'll have to even mention the static root here. Just a moment. I'll make it static underscore a root. I'll mention static root is going to be os.path os.path.join base dir. And what it does basically, if I show you many different things, we should get a folder right here named as assets. So now what it does, static aapne naam rakha, it's what you are naming it as. Python says, Django says that you are naming it as static, but what I call them as what I call this folder that you are going to make is not static but assets. Alright, so you are going to join the base dir here. So I will say it is going to be ASSETS assets. Alright, so let me save it. And still we don't have any assets folder here taking all the static material. So we don't have it here. So I'll say python manage.py, and I will say collect all the static information, static. So the moment I collect the static information, 119 static files copy to assets. Now it has made its own folder known as assets. It's actually a link between your static and assets, right? And you can clearly see, and now you can see it has CSS, it has fonts, it has images, it has JavaScript, everything else. Alright, because it says, Python says that you have named it as static, but I will not access them anything other than assets. So that's why we are creating a base directory assets where we are keeping everything which is in static. So now you can name it as static as well, so that's not a problem. You can create a static root and name it static and then copy the files afterwards. Okay, and then after then you have done, it should work. No, it does not work. Why? If you go to templates and open index.html, you can see that every single reference right here, you can see has basically a link that's been created to a specific file. You require style.css file. You require these files in order for this project to run, but you cannot access them like this in Python, right? Because you cannot access them, right? For that, what you have to do, you have to access them statically, because they are not dynamic files, they are static. And how do you do that? On top of the page, just open braces and scriptlets and say load static. So now I'll just load all static data here, and I will mention even this load static is not going to help us. So now you can clearly see it's not going to help us. And now what I do here, the first file that I include here is a file. So I'll just put scriptlets here and I put static, static static, and I end it with ampersand right here. So ampersand and then static and then this. And if you want to include bootstrap, you can type static as well for, and now you can clearly see, now we have the template syntax error. Now we're not getting that error, we're getting something else error. Alright, you can see style.css, and we have many errors right here. You can clearly see static fonts, icon, style.css has some type of an error. Who knows what this error is? So now let me first use this static with every single thing. Alright, so I'll use this static here, I'll use the static here. All the references will be converted to static references. I'll use the static keyword here. I will use the static keyword here. I will use the static keyword here as well. Here as well. Here as well. And every single thing which has a reference, not online reference but direct reference, are required to get converted, right? Because now you're accessing them dynamically. Static data, right? Now you're accessing them like this. So I'll just close my ampersand tags like this, and I will close them like this, like this, like this, like this. So close them all. Whatever is static has to be closed. Alright, so whatsoever is static will be closed like this. Everything else is closed, so I will save and run it again. And now error during template rendering. In template, index error at line, index.html had error on line number 11. So I'll go to line number 11. So I'll say Control G, line number 11. It's here. Static, I have mentioned static, and there should not be any error. Static, so why am I accessing this statically? So let me just get rid of this and check it again. Line number 12 has an error now. Okay, maybe I am not loading static, so we have already mentioned load static. Okay, let me do it again. Python.manage collect static. So I'll again run the command collect static. I'll say yes. Modified everything, and I will go ahead and run it. Still we are having an error right here. So this is the error. Straightforward mentioned an error. What error is this? So error during template rendering, that you're not able to render this template. Why aren't you able to render this template? Error line number 12. Bootstrap has an error. Yeah, it's clearly an example. Maybe have we loaded all the pages? Yeah, we have loaded all what was required. All the folders have been loaded. Config, so maybe I'll load this config. It's not required, right? So these files are not required at all. README is not required. So what are we doing? No, these are not required. Let me go and see anything wrong that we have done. Is there anything wrong? Okay, style.css is included now. We are having problems with bootstrapping. Okay. That's where the find static is the spanning right. Static, yes, spanning is absolutely right. We don't have any problem here. Static is there, and then we have okay. Now what we have to do, we have to mention this in single quotes separately. Alright, after static you have to mention the link in single quotes, and that too statically. Alright, okay. So you have to mention it statically. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are just using single quotes statically here. Okay, I will just use single quotes here. No, double quotes will take entire thing, but the path, actual path will be in single quotes, right? So I forgot that. And now I'll use after static single quotes everywhere. It should work now. It's just for the first time when you are about to create a web application. It's not for a website. We don't use Django for creating a website. We use it for creating a web application, a software, an online software. So it's only for the first time you'll have to set up the framework so that every single thing falls under the place, right? And after that, yeah, there's absolutely no problem. Yeah, I forgot to close it down here, so we'll close. Alright, so there should not be any error. I hope everything works fine now. You're able to get the template. Oh, still. Okay, now you can see that these are actually not having errors. Now we have datepicker.css having an error. That's absolutely good that you're carrying on. Yeah, there is an error because there had to be a space. And now we're going forward. Yeah, now we can see that another error is here. What is this S doing? It is CSS, and now we'll have to use quote here. Yeah, now I think everything is fine. It should work. Now it is working absolutely fine, but still we're not getting the particular style being loaded. So let me restart the server, or let me create this. Let me restart this server. Alright, that we have restarted the server. I will just refresh it and see what the error is. Actually, we can go to the source and see we have this static CSS. We're adding this href static CSS bootstrap. So does static have? No, static does not have a CSS. Why? Static has CSS. Static has CSS folder and it has all the files. Alright, so then why are we getting this error? Oh, because static has everything. Maybe we moved everything to assets. Right, that may be the reason we have moved everything to assets. Right, so we have assets and then we have admin here. Maybe we'll call assets. Right, let me go to the terminal again and use collect static, and we'll say yes. We don't have to do this actually, but yeah, in order to load the CSS files, maybe let me try one thing. Let me load assets and type assets. And where is the main CSS file? Yeah, we're loading it from assets. So let's see. Yeah, assets is not registered tag library. Must be one of them. Yes, we have not registered assets. It is actually static. Right, so we're loading it from static. Font static CSS, static CSS, static. So yes, static has every single thing. So what is the problem here? It should load exactly, though there should not be any problem. Even the image is not loaded. All right, so there should not be any problem. Let me come back and rectify the problem in just a while. So give me 1 second. All right, I found the error. What we are doing here is we are accessing static underscore files underscore drs. Actually, it is static files directories. Static files underscore drs, not static underscore files underscore dr. No, static files dir. So the moment you run it now, you can see that you're getting this loader, and the loader is not going. The reason behind this is that this index file has many images that being used, right? And you can see these images right here. Okay, so unless you load all the images, unless every single thing is loaded, right, nothing is going to happen. Okay, so now what you got to do is wherever you find an image, so for example, I search for img, you have to use static in front of this as well, because it has to be the static path that image has to find, right? Or img, that's again second image that we are going to access. Put static and insert inverted commas, enclose the string, and search for imgs again, and you can clearly see another image used here. The first thing, to be very easy, put image in single quotes, right? Go outside the single quotes, add static here, ampersand static, and close the Django tag here, scriptlet tags, and find all the image and replace all the images right here. Immediately single quote and then add double quote, close down the string, search for image. So now you find another image, right? Single quote and then static, and then close down this right here. Again image. You can see that we have many images here. that are required to be accessed via nice and the correct path, right? And now you can clearly see again we have some hero image here. I don't know if you're making your own templates, and then it's not a problem, but in case you're using the pre-downloaded template, so I'll have to show you how to use it. So I'll keep it in single quotes, and static will be automatically prefixed with every single thing. That means static directory will be prefixed with every single thing, right? And you can change the path of the static directory if you want to change. I'll also show you how do you change it if in case it is required to be changed. All right, static, and then we have this, we have this. All right, and then we have image, so I will add image, static. So slowly and steadily replace all of them. I'm just showing you, otherwise I could pause this so that you understand what is happening. Static, and then add single quotes, close down the scriptlet. So I'll just do it and come back. Alright, so I'm done, and this is the last one. Alright, so I've done it. I'll just save this and run it again. And now see the loader is creating a problem. It's loading, but let's see from the back end whether the website is loaded or not. So we'll go on top of the file. You will see a loader div. Search for loader, L-O-A-D-E-R, loader, and you can clearly see show full screen. So now you can clearly see this loader div right here. Alright, and you can clearly see it's circles. It's using HTML5 and giving strokes. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just delete this loader div. It's not required for me, right? And then see whether the website loads. Actually, yes. Now you can clearly see that the website has loaded successfully. Now you can clearly see some kind of many different things. You can book it now, and there are different things that we are doing here. Now you have been able to load the website successfully using the Django template language, right? And if you have not understood it completely, just try it, right? Just try it. Otherwise, I'll tell you one thing, that it's basically not rocket science, right? No rocket science is involved here, right? But still, I'll give you an overview. What is happening right here is you're required to load some static pages. Static pages can be CSS files. Static files can be image, fonts, JavaScript files, and anything like that, right? Now, if you want to load, the first thing you have to tell, Django, right, that let me just get rid of this static root and assets. So just let me close it down, and let me go to see user, and we have Django DJ and Django projects, and there is travel, and there's assets also. If I delete this assets, let me delete assets. So there's no assets now, right? So I can still load the web application, and the website works absolutely fine. So now what you got to do is just mention the static files directory path. So as a static files underscore dirs, because we have just made a directory known as static, so that's why we mentioned it as static. Now in that case, if I rename it from static to HTML files, right? So I've renamed it to static, from static to HTML files. Now you can see, just let me restart the server first. Stop the server, start the server again, and load the application once again. Right, and the static path is still there, right? And now if I run the command assets, right, collect static, so I will run the command collect static. So I'll say yes, I need to collect the static. It's automatically going to collect all static information, right? And now if I run this, still there is no problem running this, because static URLs is static. Let me open my travel app. Alright, so we have this template index.html, which is using the static path, maybe, yeah. We have templates, and we renamed actually this to HTML. Let me rename it to HTML files once again, because it's being cached. So if I delete the cache, now you can see cache is delete, and you're not able to find CSS files once again. So now in order to change it, I'll still go to directory and say now static is not going to be my static directory of static files. I changed this to HTML files, and now HTML files is going to be my static directory. So I will save this and run it again, and now you can see it works absolutely fine. So that's what you are mentioning here. Where is the path of the static files? You'll say HTML files, all right, and go to HTML files and add static in front of all that you require actually, right? I'll go to index.html here, because I have just you can clearly see. Alright, I just added static in front of everything right here, and you'll say, hey, earlier we were loading the loader, why aren't we loading the loader now? I'll say, okay, wait a second, we'll load the loader. Now the loader is not loading because we'll have to add static with everything. Now you can find these files here. Alright, I can add static here, so I can say now curly brace this static and add single quote. So I'll just copy this for quick operation. Okay, I'll copy this for quick operation, close it and close it down, and this is what we do with all right here. Okay, so this is what I will do with all of them, one by one, and see now whether we're able to load the loader, because it's a bootstrap and they require many JavaScript files to be used. You're getting a pre-designed thing, so you don't have to work too much on HTML. You just have to work on dynamic content development. Alright, I will now copy another thing, which is ampersand and close tag, and I will add this with every single file at the end. Okay, at the end of every single file, and now, okay, now it's something is wrong. I don't have to copy the double quote, I just have to copy only the single quote. Okay, let me do it fast enough so that you don't get. Okay, so now one more small file, because a loader is AJAX, it's going to not AJAX, basically loader is going to get loaded when everything finished loading, right? Once the website is completed, yeah, you can clearly see now the full website coming. Now we can clearly see we're still having images that are not coming right here. We'll see why aren't those images coming, because of caching. Maybe let's erase the cache and see now the full website has been loaded. If I go to About Us, now we know that it does not exist. We'll have to apply the concept of master page here that we have not applied yet. But yeah, you can clearly see loader. It's actually absolutely working now, so we don't have any problem with the loader as of now, right? And image, maybe we have not loaded img. Let me see static logo. Yes, logo is loaded. Alright, so we've been able to load the logo successfully, and we have loaded all the files. So static, and then we have heroes. Okay, let me search for enjoy the ocean. Now these are images basically. Yeah, these are templated images. When downloaded with this image or downloaded with the website, you have to use your own image right here, right? And this is your template actually ready to work in Django. Now if I go to page source, and you can clearly see all the files are correctly included. You can access all the CSS files now, right? And your template is completely ready. All what you have to do, even if you're not doing this, so it's not required. Okay, collect static, right? Even if collect static is not for, if nothing works, then you collect static. For me, it does not work. I just deleted assets directory right now, right? All you have to do, right, mention the path of the HTML files and add those curly braces. Within scriptlets, add static in front of all CSS and all JavaScript files that are required. I wish you all the best. And tomorrow I will, in next class, not tomorrow, but in next class, I'll show you how to have your own template right, accessing your CSS files and your image, inshallah. I wish you all the best. Till then, bye bye, take care.